All right, hello and welcome to my 2025 in the bag. So I just want to start the video off to talk about a couple new releases that MVP's had. First up, we got the Prism Neutron Trance. So this disc is a nice fairway driver, I'd say, for a little bit slower arm speeds. Nice hyzer to flip up to flat shots in the woods. It's going to be a really good disc for woods golf. So super excited about this one. And then another new release is the Fission Trail. And so this is the Trail, which has come out previously, but it is in Fission plastic. So it's got a super heavy outer core or outer rim, and the core is much lighter than in normal MVP discs. So it comes in a wide variety of weights, all the way down to I think 140 grams. So it's going to be a great disc for all arm speeds. And just to give you a better idea of how these guys fly, I'm going to take them out in the field and throw them just so you can get some real idea of their flight. And then next up is the Simon Line Balance. And this is a disc that I really like. It kind of fills that slot in my bag between a reactor and a pyro. So medium stability, I can throw it and it'll hold pretty straight with a nice consistent finish to the left. And yeah, so this is a new disc in the Simon Lizotte lineup, his new mid-range. All right, and let's start off. In my bag, I have the James Conrad Voyager Pro. Great bag, holds my discs, does everything I need it to do. And in this top compartment, I keep all my putters. So I am putting with the MVP Atom. I like them because they're nice and shallow. I like the shallow putter feel in my hand. It's just normal electron plastic, nothing special, max weight. And yeah, great putters, nice and straight, nice and shallow. Got those. And then for my throwing putters, I have a couple. I have two Envies, a Prism, I believe this is Prism Plasma, and then a Glow. So this Prism Plasma, I'd say, is my most stable Envy. It's relatively new. I'll throw it pretty flat and it kind of goes straight, maybe a little drift right, but solid finish to the left. So great disc in the woods, good approach disc. And then I have my Glow Envy, definitely super beat in, really flippy. I'll throw it usually on hyzer. It'll flip up to flat and just hold dead straight. So love the Envy. Probably one of my favorite putters next to the Proxy. So I have one Proxy, super old, super beat in. This is just normal Neutron plastic, and I'd say it's a little flippier than my Glow Envy. I love to put it on hyzer, flip up to flat, and then just slowly finish right. So great disc. And then we got the Simon Line Pixel. Recently just put this in my bag. Similar to my Proxy, base plastic, so soft electron. Definitely pretty flippy, but I can just throw it a little bit softer than the Envy and it'll get about the same flight. So super money. And then last up, we got the Stabilizer. This is my overstable approach putter. I really like it for short forehands or backhands that I want a consistent fade with. Doesn't really get much turn, just kind of goes straight and then dumps. So good disc for shorter forehand approaches. All right, next up is my mid-ranges. So I have 5 mid-ranges in the bag right now. I'll start off with the one I have the most of, and that is the Hex. Love the Hex, probably my favorite mid-range. I got 3 of them in the bag right now. I got this old Neutron Hex, super beat up, super flippy. It's basically my longer Proxy. Throw it hard on a little bit of hyzer, flip up to flat, slowly drift right. So it's my flippiest. And then my more neutral one is this Sarah Hokum signed Neutron Hex. Similar to this one, just a little more stable. I'll throw it on hyzer, it'll flip up and kind of just ride straight. So it doesn't have that right finish like the green one. And then last is my Glow Hex. This one's my most overstable hex. I like it for shots. I can put a little ante on it. It'll hold the ante and come out flat. So I love the hex. It's just a super glidey, far flying mid-range. Great for the woods, De La Viega, a lot of the courses I play. And then next up, I guess I'll talk about the Tempo. Kind of a mix between a putter and a mid-range, but I like this in place of my stabilizer for slightly longer shots for the forehand. So longer forehand approaches, flex, it'll come back a little bit. It's pretty overstable, not as overstable as the stabilizer, but I like to think of it as like a longer Envy. Feels really good in the forehand. Nice, slim, low profile, so great approach disc. And then the Pyro. So this is a Prism Proton Pyro, I believe. It's got some little sparkles in the plastic as well. Another one of my favorite mid-ranges. Super straight, dead straight, very glidey, and then just ever so slight fade left when I throw it on flat. So this disc is another great disc for the woods. I can trust it on all sorts of lines. Ante and hyzer, it'll hold and come out to flat, and maybe even come back a little bit. So very versatile disc. And then last up, my most overstable mid-range is the Runway. So I'd say it's a little bit more overstable than the Pyro, but a little bit less stable than the Deflector. So I like it for longer forehand approaches, a little longer than the Tempo, but definitely more overstable as well. So I'll throw this on lines that I need to finish left or right if I'm throwing it forehand, but it doesn't really flip at all. And this is also just a super pretty disc. It's the Cosmic Neutron streamlined discs, so pretty sweet. All right, and then moving on to my fairway drivers. I have put a couple new ones in the bag, so haven't got a lot of chances to throw them yet, but first up is the Tesla. So the Tesla is a new addition to the bag, but I think it's going to be a really good straight flying fairway driver. It's a 9-speed, so pretty fast, and I think I'm just going to be able to rip on this flat, get some nice turn out of it, but also have a consistent fade. And then comparable to the Tesla is this Neutron Terra. So this disc I've had in my bag forever, maybe the longest out of any disc in my bag, but these Terras, I got a run of them. They're kind of domey. I don't know if you can see that, but they're very dead straight. So I like this for just any long shots that I need to go straight. I can put it out there to like 380, 400. I'm hoping that this Tesla will be a good replacement for this if I lose it or it gets too flippy. So very similar discs right now. And then next up, I have my Servo. Similar to the MVP Crave, or Axiom Crave, but a little bit more stable, and I like this for shots. I'll just throw it on hyzer. This one's pretty beat up, so it's pretty understable, but I'll just throw it on hyzer, and it'll get a nice flip up to flat and finish right, or if I throw it flat, it'll kind of just dump over to the right. But very good, versatile disc for the woods. Can throw it soft and just get a nice full flight out of this. So I love that disc. And then for my most overstable, I have the Fireball. The Fireball is pretty beefy, dead flat. So I like this for forehands or backhands into a headwind or shots that I just need to dump. Not a lot of glide, very overstable. Feels good in the hand for forehand and backhand. So I like this just for shots that I need that consistent finish on, a little bit farther out in the fairway. And then moving on to my control drivers, I have 4 in the bag right now. My main forehand disc is the Zenith, so throwing it backhand, it's pretty understable, but with my weak little forehand, I can get it to flip up, ride flat, and finish out to the right. Great disc. I don't need to throw it too hard to get a nice flight out of it, so yeah, I just love this disc. Great forehand disc. Super flat as well, so it feels good in my hands. And then I have the Plasma Photon, another really good forehand disc. Relatively overstable, so I'd say it's just the more overstable counterpart to the Zenith. I like it for forehand and backhand, big hyzer shots, forehand or backhand. Yeah, just my overstable fairway or control driver. And I've been comparing the Photon to the new Streamline Discs Boost. This is a prototype, which is also pretty overstable. I believe it's a 10-speed, so a little bit slower than the Photon, but very similar flights. I'm just trying to decide which one I like more right now in my bag. So, Boost. And then last up, my understable control driver is the Trace. It's super pretty, cosmic neutron plastic, and I love it for just flash shots that I need to bend right, big anhyzers. Yeah, long shots that I just want a consistent straight to right finish. And then on to my distance drivers. I only have 2 in the bag right now. First up is the Simon Line Time Lapse. Love this disc for overstable shots, max distance, headwind drives. Yeah, very stable, very consistent flight, and it's also just a super pretty disc. I love the colors on it. So love having this in the bag for big hyzers or big hyzer forehands, a little bit longer than the Photon and the Boost. Good disc. And then last up is my Neutron Octane. I love this disc as well. It might be one of my favorite discs in my bag. Super domey, it's got a little heartbeat. I don't know if you can hear that, but this is my max distance disc. I'll put it on flat, get full flight out of it. I can push this out to 500, 550, so I love this disc. My farthest flying disc. I throw it everywhere. And yeah, that's about it. That concludes my in the bag. Thanks for watching.